Hello everyone, I am Josh and welcome to this Sims 4 house building video. So today I am building a house called Modern Zen here somewhere in whatever the world is called, Windenburg, that's what it's called. And yeah, so this house is a modern house, as you would, be able to figure out from the title. A lot of my houses recently have had the word modern in the title as well. I think at least the past three, or like including this one, 3 houses in a row with the word modern in their name. That's a pretty good record. I don't know, anyway. So yeah, this house is 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. It's not too large. It's kind of similar in size to my last house, actually. I think it's pretty much the same amount of rooms as my last house. So, you kind of get the idea, the size of it. And it's pretty nice. So it has this nice kind of view of the ocean, which is, kind of right there next to the house. And it has a very modern look to it. It's definitely more modern than the last house I did, which was mid-century modern, which wasn't really mid-century, but that's okay. This house is definitely more modern. There's a lot of large windows, or basically walls of glass, which looks pretty cool from inside. And, it looks really nice, especially from the living room, because you have the view of the ocean. It's quite classy. Yeah, so anyway, this house was relatively quick to build. It only took me about, I don't know, like 2 hours and 15 minutes in real time, which is very short, mind you. That's why this video is only about 20 minutes long, which is unusual for me. Well, that's because I'm used to building The Sims 3, so, it takes me quite a bit longer there. So I guess I have to get back used to really not making too long, not spending an extreme amount of time making videos, which is actually pretty good. So anyway, you can see we have a seafoam kind of colored roof, and all these kind of protrusions from the second floor that I'm making into balconies, which look kind of nice. They add a nice bit of detail to the house. I'm also putting some half walls around the roofs just to, kind of cap off those flat areas. Now, a big part of this house is the landscaping. I kind of have a lot of ivy and plants growing up onto the house in the front, sides, back, pretty much everywhere, and a lot of just kind of ground cover around the house, and a lot of bushes and that kind of stuff, which is kind of, and some bamboo, which is kind of what gave me the idea for like kind of makes it feel zen-like. I don't know, it's just a very kind of secluded looking modern house that's kind of, in nature, because like nature is kind of claiming it as its own, maybe-ish, I don't know. So it looks like it kind of fits in with the theme of nature, I guess, because there's plants on it. I don't know, it looks pretty good. I thought it was kind of zen-like, and that's why I went with the name. Anyway, here I'm just putting in some gray siding. So the colors in the house are that gray siding, the dark gray stone, or bricks, and then there's a light gray stone. So there's dark gray bricks, light gray stone. You can see the stone I'm putting there. You don't actually see any of the stone in the final house because I cover it all up with the windows, so, it's okay, but, it's there. It's hiding there behind the windows. And here I just use white as an accent, so you just kind of have the white on all of the kind of protruding parts. I don't even know what you call them in real life. I don't think they have a name. Maybe they do, I don't know. But I'll call them protruding parts. And here we go, putting in the windows. This house, like my last one, is actually all built using the lowest wall height, which is interesting. Again, I don't tend to do that, but I'm doing it here, so there you go. It just kind of made it look a bit more cozy, smaller. It looked too weird with medium-sized walls, so didn't do it. Here I'm going to use some columns kind of as accents, and I love the way this turns out. You can see I've kind of put columns to cap off all these areas, all the protruding areas as I'm calling them, and it works really well with the trim that goes between the levels and the trim that goes above it. See, look at that. It just looks like a frame kind of going around those areas of like that dark brown. It looks really good. I'm really happy with it. Here comes the ivy, the first parts of the ivy. It looks quite nice. At some point, some of that ivy disappears, and I'm not sure why or where or when. Well, I know where it disappeared, but I don't know when or why. Oh, you know what? Okay, well, too bad. I put some of the ivy back. I didn't put it back exactly the way it was, but that's okay. Because I'm watching it now, and I didn't put it back the way it is, because I didn't remember how it was, but it's okay. You know what? It still looks good in the final house, so never fear. Anyway, yeah, I kind of liked it a little bit better here in the actual first time around, but it's okay. Here I'm putting in some bushes and some other stuff. So this is the ground cover I was talking about, so there's quite a bit of it. And it just kind of spreads around the place, and there's some grass here, some flower things there, and I actually quite like the look of it. So here I'm going to be putting in a tree on the corner of the house there. Oh, well, there it is. And yeah, so not too many trees actually on the lot, but I put some bamboo around the place. And we got some nice little, I forget what these are called. I think it's like some kind of grass, like those thin but tall kind of green things. I kind of use it to hide the foundation, so it looks like the ivy is kind of growing out of the plants, in a way, I suppose. But yeah, so anyway, here I'm going to put in the windows now, or some more windows, I suppose. Yeah, some small windows, basically. And there's a fountain, which is pretty nice. Kind of makes it feel a little bit more zen-like. And yeah, here's some hedge fencing, and I also bring the plants kind of up against the house to hide the foundation in this area, so it kind of looks like the plants are growing up into the hedge wall, which I think looks pretty cool, so you'll see that. Yeah, so that's coming. Here we go, and yes, I just put a little bit of ivy in some places there, and here comes the long grass, which you can see hides the foundation quite nicely. And then I just put some ground cover and other stuff around it, and it looks kind of nice and organic. It kind of hides the foundation there, so I think it looks pretty cool. So, you know, I just like it. It's pretty nice. So there you go. You just have some bushes and plants. I'll do the same thing on the other side now, and it looks pretty snazzy. So there you go. Yeah, a lot of landscaping goes into this house. That's one of the main aspects of its design, is just a lot of landscaping, a lot of plants. More than I usually do, but I think it looks quite nice. It kind of, to me, gave it that zen-like feel. Anyway, here I'm just messing around with some decorative objects that I don't end up actually using, but I was seeing if any of them actually would work. None of them did. And now we're going to begin on the interior of the house. So we have a nice stairwell, and there's going to be an open area that kind of overlooks the well, I guess it's kind of like just part of the living room, I guess. So there you go. And a nice little open area there. And yeah, so I'm just going to put in the floor plan now, probably. The first floor is only actually 2 rooms. Like the game designates them as just 2 rooms. And upstairs we have 3 bedrooms. So like the downstairs, as you can probably tell from me saying that it's only 2 rooms, is that it's a very open floor plan. So the kitchen, living room, dining room, and the study is all basically 1 room. And up here you can see I'm just kind of separating up the rooms a bit. We have the guest room in the front, master bedroom in the back, and the small little square room is the kids' room. It's kind of unfortunate the master bedroom doesn't get ocean views, but I suppose it's not the end of the world. There's where I just put the windows is going to be the kitchen, and you can see the 1 room that's downstairs other than the main part of the house. We just have that little bathroom, and then we have, I think this is quite nice, we have these bookshelves in between these walls, and what I like about these bookshelves is that you can see through them because there's no backing. They're kind of like 2-sided bookshelves, but what's nice about them is then they kind of act as dividers, but you can still kind of see around them, which is kind of nice. And this is the study area here. I just kind of put a partition wall there, and I quite like it. I think it looks pretty cool. And I was going to put in some brick around the place to make it kind of bring the outside into the house, like the outside textures inside, so it kind of ties it together. Here I'm putting in some more ivy, and it looks quite good. Some more ivy there, and I quite like it. It looks nice. I'm actually glad that we have proper ivy now that Get Together came out, because you know, before you had to use the flower boxes, which didn't look quite as good. I prefer the actual ivy. Yeah, so anyway, covering up all the walls with white paint. And oh, you know, speaking of plants, I'm not entirely sure what comes in the what was it? I don't even know what it's called. It's whatever the pack. Well, actually, there were 2 stuff packs in February. I haven't got either of them yet because I just haven't felt like it, and it's just not worth it to me. I'll get them eventually, I'm sure, but haven't gotten them yet. I think it's movie hangout stuff, and the other one, which is like a Valentine's Day stuff pack, romantic garden stuff or something like that. Although the latter has a lot of plants in it, which probably would have been useful for this house, but I'm just not really interested in buying it. It's just like, I don't know. I wish they'd stop with so many stuff packs. It's just not necessary, and I feel like they should put more effort into expansion packs, really. Like we've had 2 expansion packs so far, and it's been, what, a year and a half? I think, yeah, it's been about a year and a half. We've had 2 expansion packs. I'm not sure how many The Sims 3 got, like after a year and a half, but I feel like it was more. But I could be totally wrong. I don't know. Anyway, I just haven't felt like getting those 2 stuff packs because they just don't feel very necessary. But anyway, I'll probably get them eventually. Here you can see, now we're gonna go back to the house. Here you can see that the interior is kind of, I was trying to go for the Zen-like look, so you kind of have the floor tiles from Spa Day, that's what it's called. And these kind of like nice light colors, like you have the couch and that rug, which I think look pretty nice. There's also a massage chair and a yoga mat out here on the front porch. And there's also a little chess table here, but I mean, all the colors are very neutral. There's blues, greens, kind of beige colors, whites. I quite like it. I think it looks very Zen-like. And there's also a fish tank as well, and a mirror I'm going to put in the corner in any moment. Oh, I was going to go for a bookshelf, but I decided on a mirror. There you go. Yeah, I quite like it, and also a little plant, of course. So this is the area, obviously, that has the overlooking balcony on the second floor landing, which I quite like. I think it looks pretty snazzy. And there's some curtains I don't actually keep. And there's also like a little landing area here, which has an art easel on it, which is a pretty good spot for that because it has that view out those large windows out to the ocean. So it'd be pretty good for Sims to paint there. And there's also a little side table and a light and a rug. So just finishing off that area. And some artwork, obviously, because, room would not be complete without some stylish artwork, of course. And yeah, some lighting and, a bunch of that kind of stuff. Very exciting stuff, obviously. So anyway, I believe the living room is done. So we're going to just, finish up the entrance to the house here. So we're just going to put in some mirror and some the usual stuff, usual suspects. You got the coat hook there and the shoe rack, and this is the study area, which I quite like because it has the desk there kind of against the bookshelf, so who's ever sitting at the desk can kind of see through into the living room, which I think is pretty cool. And I also just put a few other items in the whatever you call it, the study area. Yeah, so I'd like to put I think a little bookshelf and a little seat and just a few other things, a guitar. So there's the guitar. I'm going to put in the little wall bookshelf, which is there, and a little chair as well, which I think looks quite nice. So you'll see that. Yeah, there you go. So pretty nice little study area. I think it's kind of cool. It's like still open, but it has that kind of separation with the bookshelf, which I am quite pleased with. So turned out pretty snazzy. I've been saying that word way too many times in this video. I guess it's my replacement for cool, which I used like 20 times, no, more than 20 times, in one of my other house builds. So I gotta careful with that one. Anyway, this is the kitchen, which is pretty spacious, as you can see. It has a nice island, and there's the fridge and the oven slash stove. And yeah, I was going to put island seats, or bar stools actually, so that's the name of them, but otherwise it would have interfered with this table, which is the table you can't place without move objects because of that column that's there on the wall segment. But I put it in there anyway. But if the table doesn't work, you can just delete the column that's like right next to it, so that will make it work. But I kind of like the look of the column, so since I build for appearances, I left it there. So yeah, anyway, almost done the kitchen here. It's got a very gray and white color scheme, but it's very modern, obviously, and it's kind of Zen-like, I guess. It's also kind of clinical feeling. It's like a hospital type look because it's like all white and very sterile looking. But it's kind of Zen-like, I guess. It's kind of like a relaxing color scheme, maybe. Yeah, anyway, got those yellow chairs in the dining table for a pop of color, so that helps. And yeah, so anyway, we're moving on to the little downstairs bathroom, which is pretty simple. Sink, toilet, shower. Very basic. Nothing too special here. Gonna put in a few details, like a little toilet roll and some towels and a little painting, actually quite a large painting. And a mat on the floor. There you go. Beautiful. So moving upstairs now. We're going to work on, I believe, the guest bedroom first. I do put a closet in the kids' room. Yeah, so here's the guest bedroom. There's the master bedroom. And yeah, so moving on back to the guest bedroom, we have a very nice kind of relaxing color scheme. There's the light blue carpet, the blue bedspread, and I just believe there's like dark brown wood too. I don't know. It's a pretty nice color scheme. I quite like it. It looks pretty relaxing, and also the whole wall opposite the bed is all glass and looks right out to the ocean. There's also a balcony too, which looks out to the ocean, which is pretty fancy. This room also has 2 balconies as well, which is a little overkill, but I quite like it. There you go. Was that seriously it? Oh no. Okay, so I'm gonna put a rug in and a few details. I was gonna say like that seemed pretty quick. Otherwise, I think that's it. Well, that was a very quick bedroom to do. So we're going to move on now to the master bedroom, which is facing the back of the house. It has a very large balcony, though, which is pretty fancy, and has this nice kind of wooden wall. It is kind of a very relaxing color scheme as well. It's kind of going for taupe and kind of white colors, which are pretty nice. You know, also going to put some shelving above the bed, which you'll see in any second. There it is. Beautiful shelving. Got like a little painting and another painting, and I also put some details on there, which is a pretty cool little lamp and some other things, which looks pretty nice. I quite like to look at the shelf. There's also a mirror over there, and the little plant I put on the shelf there, and a little. I also put some candles up there, so you'll see that some candles in a moment. There's some stuff over there. Oh, there's the candles. Anyway, there's some stuff on the dresser as well, and yeah, I mean it's a pretty simple bedroom. There's also a chair in the corner. Not a couch, there's the chair with a little lamp and some curtains. So yeah, that's pretty much the master bedroom. I'm going to put in a rug, and yeah, that was pretty quick as well. Lovely, so now we can move on to the master bathroom, which is the same size, shape, and location as the bathroom on the first floor, which is kind of funny. It's actually, they're directly stacked. This one's directly above the other one. And yeah, pretty small, but you have your sink, toilet, shower, a larger counter there than the one downstairs, and some details and doohickeys and stuff, and it looks pretty good. So that's done. Now moving on to the final room in the house, which is the kids' room. It has a nice blue color scheme. Also, it has a balcony, which kind of looks back into the island, and has a nice closet as well. I like using at least one of those built-in closets in my houses because I think it looks pretty cool. And yeah, so there's a bunch of posters on the wall as well. You can see quite a few of them. And I put some more throughout the room as well. Just, you know, all my kids' rooms have a lot of posters. And there's also a plant there, a little chair in the corner. And I also put in a rug and some few more items and stuff just to kind of make it look lived in and finished off. So yeah, there's a nice little rug and some clutter items and some dirty clothes on the floor. And yeah, that's the interior done. So, well, actually, we're going to put a painting in. Then that's the interior done. So we're going to do a few more bits and bobs add a few more bits and bobs to the landscape, including some outdoor furniture. So over here, I'm just doing a little balcony, which has a nice little. This is the master bedroom balcony, which has a couple little seats and a nice plant there, which is quite fancy. And yeah, I also put this kind of wall that kind of goes around the back of the house and down the side. And the idea of that was kind of like, you know, this is an old island. There's like ruins around the whole town as well. And I thought it just kind of looked nice. Like it was kind of, has been there from whatever was built here before. Like that wall is all that's left of it, left of what was, you know, there before this house. And I also put some plants over it to kind of make it look a little overgrown and stuff. So it kind of looks old and, you know, I quite like it. You can see I'm putting the plants on top of the wall and it looks a little overgrown and stuff like that. So, you know, thought it was neat. Neato little feature there. And also some around the ends, and yeah, also some large rocks as well, which I quite like to use. Haven't used them in a while, like in scaling up the rocks to kind of make them look a little bit different because they have varying sizes then if you do that, so pretty good practice. Anyway, yeah, almost done here, just putting in some more plants and some other things and all that exciting stuff. You know, we're almost done actually. Yeah, we'll be done in about a minute or less than a minute, so keeping that in mind, I'm going to say I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, there are obviously plenty more on my channel. I say this every time, and yeah, if you enjoy my house builds, please consider subscribing. I'd greatly appreciate it. And here I'm just doing some terrain paint and finishing up the house. I believe I put a few more plants in, and some outdoor lighting, obviously. I always do that last, but otherwise we're almost done here. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know, there's some lighting. Actually, those plants are still, oh, see, the plants disappeared. You see the missing, I don't know if you saw that, the missing, whatever you call it. I can't think of the word. Ivy, that's the word. Anyway, we're pretty much done here. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoy the screenshots that are coming up right about now. Yeah, actually, it's not right about now. It's in a few seconds, but you get the idea. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video.